there, guy. You live here?
It's my mom's place.
We got 2 kids that are swimming around here somewhere.
Pixar's attention to detail is one of the many reasons their movies are regarded as the pinnacle of computer animation. Catching every inside joke on a single viewing frequently seems impossible. So, that's why we're here to fill you in on every tiny detail you missed in Pixar's Elemental. Elemental, the 27th Pixar film, is helmed by Peter. The narrative centers on Ember and Wade, 2 fire and water characters who unintentionally bond and cooperate to address a problem in Element City. Elemental receives generally favorable reviews from critics, as evidenced by its high Rotten Tomatoes rating, thanks to its endearing, humorous, and romantic narrative. Although viewers might not notice it, there is also a lot more going on in the background. Not all of the Easter eggs in Elemental are meant to be amusing. One storefront is a touching homage to Ralph, the late Pixar production designer and art director who passed away in 2022. Peter got his first Pixar job from Ralph in the art department for Finding Nemo. The Eat at Ralph's 2-cent sign serves as a memorial to him. The joke is that Ralph was such a film encyclopedia. He just knew every movie, and if you asked him about a new movie, he would sort of complain about it and say, "That's just my 2 cents," Peter has described. So we have that little love in there for him. Ralph is one of the 6 people to whom Elemental is dedicated to, along with fellow Pixar employees Thomas, Amber, and Jay Garrett, whose last names appear in the film credits. Not to be overlooked is Peter's devotion to his parents. He thanked his parents for providing them with such strong support and explained that Elemental is kind of a love letter to them. Since Boo gave Sully a toy in Nemo in Monsters, Inc., which came out 2 years before Finding Nemo, Pixar has made it a tradition to include Easter eggs for both their previous and upcoming films. Wade actually made an appearance as a cartoon mascot on water bottles in vending machines in Lightyear, which serves as a tease for Elemental. Elemental in turn teases Elio, the future Pixar movie, which will hit theaters on March 1st, 2024. When a younger Wade is sucked into a sponge in his school hallway in a flashback scene, the most obvious Elio Easter egg can be seen in the background. In the school, there's a poster that reads "Join the Space Club," and it features a picture of a ringed, tentacled object that appears in the concept art for the upcoming film Elio. A human boy is mistaken by aliens for Earth's leader in the upcoming science fiction film. As Elio nears its release, other Easter eggs might become more obvious. The Elemental team went through a lot of work, according to the producer, to incorporate one of the Elio characters into the movie. She stated without going into further detail that the character looks fantastic and makes me smile every time I see the character pop up. In comparison to other Pixar films, Elemental's voice cast features fewer well-known actors. One cast member who will stand out to some viewers is comedian Joe Pera, who's best known for his Adult Swim series Joe Pera Talks With You. He portrays a grandparent-like comedic persona in which he takes things very slowly and shows interest in topics that most people would find uninteresting. He voices Fern Grouchwood in Elemental, an Earth Elemental office worker whose role in the plot may cause some viewers to think of the sloth officials from Zootopia. In the press content for Elemental, Joe states, "It was my main goal in life to play a tree. I'm not really sure what to do with myself now that my dream has come true." Fans of Joe Pera Talks With You will be familiar with the comedian's fondness for trees and other plant life. Whether or not fern technically qualifies as a tree or some other type of plant, while considering the potential of a television channel called Tree TV, Pereira has created content aimed at assisting viewers in finding the ideal Christmas tree as well as supplying comfort to workers during the early stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. Before we move on to the adorable Doug, the dog from Up, smash that like button. For those who saw Elemental in theaters, a new Pixar short serving as a sequel to Up with Carl and Doug was provided. But that wasn't the only time the talking dog sidekick would appear. Who will be the first viewer to find Doug in Elemental, and which other beloved Pixar characters might be transformed and remain undetected among the crowds in Element City? In reference to one romance between some supporting characters, Peter has said, "There is a couple that is going through their own story back there. You'll see a couple meet in the beginning, a couple get closer together, and then that same couple propose. It's throughout the whole film, but it's this little backstory that's going on that might be hard to find." but it's there. If you still don't understand what we're talking about, Pixar cleverly incorporated the audience's favorite character into the film. This is accomplished by changing Doug so that his fur turns into grass and he becomes a pet for a member of the land people. Can you spot him now? The fact that Pixar enjoys referencing its own films does not preclude the company from recognizing Studio Ghibli as one of the best animation studios ever. Elemental makes a reference to the studio by giving Wade's non-binary sibling a girlfriend, which is a nod to the team behind classics like My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away. The girlfriend's name Ghibli is unmistakably a nod to the renowned anime production company Studio Ghibli, which will undoubtedly catch the attention of serious anime fans. The animators at Pixar have spoken about their adoration for Studio Ghibli's productions. The English dubs of Ghibli movies have been directed by people like Peter Docter, the former studio head John, and Toy, and they made a significant cameo in Toy Story 3. However, given that the word Ghibli means a hot desert wind in Italian and Arabic, it is a little strange that the character named Ghibli in Elemental is a water person. Instead, it would make more sense as a punny name for one of the air people. Character voices are frequently provided by Pixar creators. Ross's voice was provided by Bob Peterson for Monsters, Inc. and Doug's for Up and A Bug's Life and Toy Story 2, respectively. Joe voiced Wheezy and Heimlich. Ronnie Del Carmen not only co-wrote Inside Out, but also provided Windstar's voice in Soul. He's worked on numerous Pixar projects as an animator, writer, story supervisor, and director. Del Carmen takes on a more significant role in Elemental as Bernie Lumen, Ember's aging father. Del Carmen, who immigrated to Element City much like Bernie did, was born in the Philippines, where at the age of 15 he was hired to paint a scene in Apocalypse Now. He moved to the US in the late 80s to pursue a career in film. Before establishing a career at Pixar, Del Carmen held positions at Warner Bros. And DreamWorks. Wade and Ember go on one of their first dates to the movies, as is common for many couples, both in romantic comedies and in real life. Although there is only one brief scene at the theater and no movie footage is shown, it is clear from the marquee that they are there to see Tide and Prejudice, a water-themed adaptation of Jane Austen's classic romance novel Pride and Prejudice. Wade's emotional preferences fit better with the water version, which is certain to cause some tears. The movie posters that can be seen outside the theater, however, will be of interest to Easter egg hunters. One that stands out is promoting the movie The Good Element, whose title is written in the same font of Peter's 2015 film The Good Dinosaur. Although Dinosaur is a lesser-known Pixar film which isn't often mentioned these days, Peter's team clearly made an effort to show it some love. However, it's unclear what might be the dinosaur's atomic counterpart without seeing the entire poster. While we're at it, Arlo is prominently featured on the cover of the comic book At the Fireplace, which is another allusion to the animated film in Elemental. Pixar fans may recognize some of the Elemental characters in Elemental because the air people resemble Gus, the main cloud in the 2009 Pixar short Partly Cloudy in Many Ways. Given that Peter directed that short film, it doesn't seem like a coincidence that the characters in Elemental and Gus are similar. Additionally, a reference to the Pixar short is made more explicitly thanks to a Partly Cloudy poster that can be seen at the theater where Ember and Wade go on their date. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and we'll see you in the next video.